I'm Lauren. I have 4 kids, all under the age of 6. We have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. I am also a working mom. My husband works as well. We have this thing that we call it the uncomplicated cuffs, and it's our way of parenting and just focusing on the things that really matter for us, because we do, obviously parenting is super hard, but we don't feel like it has to be as complicated as we make it. So today I want to talk with you about biggies and smallies. Biggies and smallies is this framework where you divide things into, like, these are the big non-negotiable things that we cannot give on, and these are the small things that we are willing to let go. It's not ideal, but we are willing to let it go. It's not gonna screw up our day, or we're not gonna stop everything to have a teachable moment on this thing. It can be really challenging to feel like you're constantly just reinforcing things, especially if they're things that you don't really know, why am I doing this? Why am I arguing with my child over, I don't know, the clothes that they wear? Is this something that's super important to me? Or is it something that's not? So enter biggies and smallies. Big things, these are the non-negotiables. These are the things that, like, we believe in this as a family. These are the things, like, all of the teachable moments you would halt, your day would grind to a halt so that you can reinforce this thing. And you actually might find that you are structuring your days around this thing that's really important, which I'll get to in just a second. The smallies are the stuff that, again, it's not ideal, but it's not going to derail this moment that you're in, or it's not gonna be the thing that you're gonna, like, die on the cross for. Biggies and smallies. For our family, our biggies and smallies, our biggies are sleep and nutrition. We found out really early on that we need, as a family, we absolutely need sleep. My husband and I are not at our best if we're not getting our sleep. And so that's something that we pride ourselves on and that we really make sure that we get as a unit. Now, in order for mom and dad to get sleep, the kids have to be sleeping. So one of the things that with our first kids that we always did from the jump was to really focus on, are we creating an environment where this tiny baby or then this toddler can go to sleep? And that's not always easy, like, I won't lie. Knowing that this was a biggie for us and this was a foundation for us helped us, but that meant that sometimes we had to say no to birthday parties or to family events, or to have to leave early even though we really wanted to stay and get together with that family member, or we really wanted to connect with that other mom and dad, but we knew we had to get our kiddos home. They had to get either down for a nap or they had to get to bed early. And I will say that now that we're kind of seasoned pros at getting our kiddos to sleep, it's been one of the biggest things that I can see that we were able to do early on, and just kind of commit to. Our family knows that we have a family nap time. Even our 6-year-old, she still has quiet time in her room because the rest of the family is still taking a nap and sleeping. And then we also don't negotiate on bedtime. Right now, I will tell you that our kids are down and asleep by 7 o'clock. They're also up really early, but everyone is in bed by 7 o'clock. And so that just gives my husband and I some time to breathe. We also go to bed. These rules aren't just for the kids. I mean, we also go to bed quite early ourselves because we know how important sleep is for our brains and just for our body function. So sleep is one of our biggies. Another biggie is nutrition in our family. We have some kids with some food allergies. I've got some food allergies. And as I've learned more and more about my allergies and how I do best and on what types of food I do best, we're seeing that in our kids too. So nutrition is another big thing for us that we are just not willing to compromise on. And that means cooking a lot. That means, like, not being able to just quickly go through a fast food joint, even though we might want to. That means doing some research before we go places to see, all right, do they have anything that we can actually eat there? And we know a couple of things in our back pocket, like we have a few restaurants that we know we can easily go to, or like some drive-thrus that we know that we can get to if we're in a pinch. But there's not a ton of options out there for us. But again, that's a biggie for us. That's something that we're not going to compromise on. And, like, for example, it comes with sacrifices. And so even though our kids' school, they offer like a school lunch and snacks and everything are included with their tuition, we don't usually take them up on it, simply because we have all of these allergies, and why it would be a lot easier it's just not something that we're willing to give up on and negotiate on. So that means that most weeks we're doing a significant amount of food prep. And then we are sending all the kids each day with a lunchbox. So those are the biggies: sleep and nutrition for us. For you guys, that might be something like, I don't know, family, or like your church community, or it might be something like committing to a certain dinner every week. You just have to figure out what those biggies are for you and then structure your life around it. I would recommend only having 2 or 3 biggies, because if you've got 5 big things that you're always trying to instill, well, that can be really hard, because y'all, again, parenting is super hard. It doesn't have to be complicated, but it is still really hard. Some smallies then is literally everything else. Some of the smallies that I can think about that are actually biggies for other parents are like my kids and what they wear. Y'all, my kids, they look like a hot mess a lot of the time, simply because we let them wear whatever they want. I can think just today, our kids, all of them, decided to get dressed this morning in my 4-year-old son's bedroom. So that meant they're all wearing 4-year-old boy clothes. So for my 6-year-old daughter, not a huge deal. She just looked like she was wearing athletic wear. But for my 3-year-old daughter, she had on like slightly large and really long, it was supposed to be shorts, but kind of looked like pants. And then my 1-year-old, we had to roll his shorts up a little bit. But again, it was something that it's not a big deal for me and my family. And in fact, because it's not a big deal and because I'm not trying to enforce something that's just not natural for me, they actually had a moment where they got to get together and they're having fun picking out outfits for each other, and they're in each other's rooms having a good time with that. So yeah, that's a smallie example for us. For other families, it might be the food, it might be the sleep, it might be, I don't know, the fact that screen time, that might be a smallie for some folks, that is in fact a biggie for everybody else. The whole purpose of this is to figure out what these biggies and smallies is and use it as a framework to guide everything that you do. I can think, like I was telling you earlier about the sleep biggie for us. That means that we don't get to go to things. The food biggie has been kind of weird for our family because I have a wonderful Southern grandma who is all of the things you would think of in a Southern grandma. She is feisty and like super loving and kind, but one of those like bless your heart kind of super loving and kind, to where you don't realize she's giving you a zinger until, I don't know, you get home and you think, wait, Grandma, that wasn't the nicest thing to say. You didn't mean that in the nicest way that I thought you did in that moment. So thinking about like the nutrition, one of the things that my grandma like struggled with at first was the fact that our kids don't eat ice cream or candy. And so she was like, wait, so for Halloween, they don't like participate in Halloween, or I can't take them to go get some ice cream? And Lauren, you're depriving these kids. It was a lot of, my kids do participate in Halloween. It's coming up here in a couple of weeks. I don't know, like a month, maybe a month. And so it does take a little bit more effort on my part, but they are still able to do the whole like trick-or-treating thing. It just means that I have to get a little bit more creative. So if any of you all have kids with allergies, or if you're just kind of not down with eating all of the candy, I would be happy to make another video to tell you about how we navigate like doing the Halloween thing. It was really hard, especially with the first couple of kids. It was really hard for me to have these discussions with my grandma, who means well, but honestly, again, it was a biggie for our family. So I knew that if this was going to be something that I was going to defend, I was going to defend it because it was such a big deal for us. And so she needed to know that this is a thing. Nope, you can't offer the kids candy whenever we come over. Nope, you can't take them to have ice cream, or else we're gonna get crossways, Grandma, and I don't wanna do that because you're my grandma, but I'm also their mom, and I have to be able to cultivate a world in which I feel like is best for them. So that framework helps me to feel like I can like really dig in on the things that really matter to me, but be able to let go of the other things. And I have to say that's been really helpful for us. Oh, I also forgot to say, love you, Grandma. You are amazing. We have gotten through all the things that we have gotten through, but it was a little spicy there for a little while. So I would love to hear about what your biggies and smallies are. What are the things that are absolutely critical and crucial for your family? Because the beauty in this is that you pick these things, these biggies, and then everything else becomes a smallie. So you're not freaking out about the kids not wearing something that you might otherwise not really want them to wear. Or you're not gonna freak out about the fact that, you know what, potty training is just taking a hell of a lot longer than we like. But it's not a huge deal for us. And so when you do get the negative comments from a well-meaning person or a troll, you're not gonna let it bother you as much. Tell me your biggies and smallies. I look forward to seeing you all soon, and I hope that this is helpful to y'all. All right, so I am about to pick up the littles from school today and thought that you all might want to come along and see what it's like to pick up all of these kids. Ollie! Hey, buddy! Ollie! Hi! What's going on, boyfriend? Hi, baby! Hi, come here. Oh.
Guys, let's get the car first. Hey, hold on. Careful. Mom, you got a game? Everyone sit in your seat, please. No, everybody get in your seat. Stop. Get in your own seats.